Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I was just talking to Kev about the exciting things for snacks, like planning my evening snacks. Tony's, chocolate balls. Oh, we've lost Sharon. Oh, no. Hopefully Sharon will come back in a second. I'll show you. Oh, there she is.
Then I don't know where I went.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm back.
Did you get so excited by my chocolate balls that your whole internet just...
You wouldn't get excited about chocolate balls, darling.
I mean, I feel like I could call them something different, but I just don't.
I love that chocolate stuff. Oh my god,
Do you know
it's
what?
gorgeous.
I don't know if you've had these, but they've got like a hard lump of salted caramel in the middle, like really crunchy salted caramel. They're very, very good. So, and I've been looking at them for a week. I bought them last weekend, so I think I've done quite well to not eat them.
You've been very good, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying not to eat in the evening. I find it doesn't like agree with me that much anymore. I think I'm pushing 40 now, aren't I? So I'm kind of...
Oh, you poor old thing.
I know, ancient. I feel it most days at the minute.
I'll be late 50s soon.
Oh,
I'll be
really?
heading towards 60.
Oh,
56 in February.
I think you've just got to, you're kind of as young as you feel, aren't you? And I just think, like, I was talking to Alex about this on the stream, and like when I was younger, 40 seemed old. Like when my mum turned 40, I thought 40 is quite old, isn't it? And then now I'm like, no, 40 is really young, 50 is really young.
And it's different now. You know, when I think of my gran was my age when I was a kid, my great gran. And she felt like really an old lady. I don't feel like an old lady. Mentally, I feel about 20, sometimes about 5. Physically, I'm old. You know, I can hurt myself just getting up. But, it's just, we just age differently now, I think. You know, I don't feel like an old woman.
Yeah, my grandma, when she was your age, was very much like white hair.
White hair. I mean, I've took the colour out now, so it's gone grey, but it's just not the same. I don't know. Perhaps it's because I don't have a permanent set.
Well, yours looks like that glamorous. You see people in the 20s dyeing their hair like whitish grey, like that platinum colour. That's what yours looks like. So it looks like you've just had a really beautiful, expensive dye job. You're very lucky. I'm going white underneath, but this is my natural colour on the top. So, it's all my natural colour.
I can't remember my natural colour. It's been that long ago. It's been every colour.
Mine, because it's sort of, mine's dark underneath and quite fair on top and a bit reddish. So I've tried putting highlights and stuff through, and because my hair's already different colours, it's never quite looked right or worked. So I've never done the whole dye thing just because I know that I can't be bothered to retouch up. I'm too lazy.
It is a lot of maintenance. A lot of maintenance. My natural colour was blonde, and I dyed it black when I was 12, and it's never been blonde since. Apart from when I got married. When I got married, strangely enough, I'd gone back to blonde at that point.
Oh, right. So was that your natural colour then when you got married?
Yeah, my natural colour was, it was blonde with, and it had highlights and lowlights in it, but it was my natural colour. Oh. Yeah, just had different lowlights through it to make it a bit darker. Because my natural colour is almost white.
Oh,
white
really?
Blonde, yeah.
So maybe I wonder if that's why the lovely, like, kind of silvery white is sort of there. Maybe that's just how your blonde is toned down. Because my granddad was reddish, and he lived till his mid-90s, and he still had a hint of red to his hair, like even into his 90s, and his beard. So maybe
my dad's a ginger, and my mum was blonde. So yeah, my dad's he's nearly 80, and he's only just started going grey.
Oh, really? So maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah, so perhaps that's what it is. It's genetic.
Possibly. I mean, I'm hoping I've got that live till my 90s and be in good health genes. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Have you read this one, Sharon?
I loved it.
I thought you had, and I thought you did.
Did you read it?
I've got about 80 pages left, so I'm hoping, and I'm going to do some work in the first sprint. I've got some freelance writing that I need to do. I'm hoping I might get a good chunk of this read in the second one. It's really different, isn't it? It's like, it's a really interesting angle on a slasher, I think.
What I found interesting about it is that for a while it seems very confused. Like at the beginning, there's almost a confusion to it because it's from his point of view as a teenager, and you realise that's what a teenage brain is like. Do you know what I mean? It reads like it's like a flow of thoughts from his head. I mean, and the kills are juicy, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really good. And I think what's interesting with Stephen Graham Jones, he's very good at kind of really drilling down to details. Like if you like detailed descriptive writing that kind of like even things like what it's like to live in the country in Texas.
Yeah.
Just what like the I don't know, I can't even think of what they're called now, but like the vehicles and the places where they store grain and where they store water, like he just tells you about everything, and it's like you're living in that life. Like you know exactly what it's like to be that person. Like the level.
And you know the pump thing. You know one of the big scenes is at a pump. Yeah. He described it so well. I thought I still can't imagine what that's like. So I googled it to see what it was actually, and I was like, oh, okay, I could see it now. Do you know what I mean? He describes things so well, and you either like that kind of writing or you don't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I like it. Yeah,
I do when it's not bogged down with unnecessary details. I think he paints a really beautiful picture of a scene. Like I remember Stephen King in On Writing says, "Don't tell me the grass is green." Like I don't like writing that's like that, where it's like describing the brown wood of the table, and you're like, "Come on, I know the table's brown. Well, let's get to the good stuff." Whereas he tells you things. He tells you things that you don't already know. I think like new, interesting information. Like I know the pump things because I'd seen. I'm sure they're always on establishing shots on Friday Night Lights, and I was obsessed with that. And that's set in Texas, so I think.
And I lived in Texas, so you'd think I'd remember. But anyway, I just thought, oh, I need to see a picture. Do you know what I mean? Because it was so vivid, that scene. There's a later one, but the first scene was so vivid, and I thought I just need to see a picture in my head. And but yeah, I love his writing. I still haven't finished my Hearts of Chainsaws trilogy yet. I need to finish that.
You know what? They are quite slow. I tried reading the third book because I'd audiobooked book 1 and 2 and really enjoyed that. And I couldn't get into the third one as a physical book, but the audiobook finally came out in the UK and I'm now into it again. But I think the voice and the characters are really good, but it is very slow, that one, I think.
I don't mind that normally, and I wish I could get on with audiobooks. I keep trying. Do you know what I mean? I just can't. I think if I was traveling to work every day, I'd probably love them. If I went for walks regularly like I used to, I'd probably love them. But because I'm not, because of my disability, I just sit and listen, and then I fall asleep. I can't. So
I do tune out sometimes. Like I'll be cleaning or something and listening to it, and then realize that 5 minutes has passed and I've just gone into my own world and the book has just been playing still. So that is the only.
I tried it at work, when I work from home, and I tried having it in the background, but I couldn't work because I'd suddenly be in the story.
Yeah.
And then I thought that's so I would listen to podcasts now because they're easier. But I thought that would be a way to do it, but I just can't because I'm like, oh, hang on, I need to film it. And then the audiobook's not fast enough for me. I read quicker than that. Yeah. So I have it on 3 speed and it's still not fast enough.
No, I struggle with it on, people say that they have it on double speed, so they can read more. I have it on 1.2 because my brain can't keep up with the words. I read fast, but I can't I think my auditory processing is slower than my visual.
Yeah.
So probably. When I hear it, it takes a while for it to sink in. Whereas when people talk to me, I think it takes a while for it to sink in. But when I'm reading text, I'm really fast.
I'm very autumnal today, by the way. Look, I got my little.
Oh yes, I like
ghost it. He's got a pumpkin spice latte and a pumpkin.
I mean, he looks like he's got the right idea. I've got spooky trousers. I'm going to show you.
Spooky trousers.
I'm going to have to stand up to show the spooky trousers.
Oh, I like them.
On Friday the 13th, I was done. So boring top, but spooky trousers. So if
do you know, when I went to the indie horror chapter, the book convention I did in Birmingham, I bought a dress that was covered in cartoon versions of all of the big serial killers on horror films. And at one point we did a quiz where everybody had to, everybody came up and said, name them all. It was great fun.
I really need to come. I was so tempted, and I was on deadline and poorly, and Nathan was about to start school, and I was like, I can't do this.
The next one's they're moving around. So the next one's in Canterbury, and then that's in March, and then in August, I won't be going to that one. March will be here in the southwest near me.
All right.
And then we'll be moving to the north. So it will move about. Do you know what I mean?
So the north, absolutely, I'm there.
I won't be.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Maybe I can
represent that. It's too far for me.
Yeah, I traveling to the south does take so long for me, but I absolutely love it down there. Like for a holiday, I was saying to Kev, I'm starting to yearn for Devon, Cornwall. every couple of years I start to get that craving that I want to go back.
But then you go to Disney. So, if I had a choice between Devon and Disney, darling, wouldn't be any competition with
there
that.
is that. I mean, yeah, summer I think in Devon and Cornwall is ideal. I think it's probably a bit less exciting, isn't it? Like October, November.
If it's a nice day, if it's nice weather, there's nowhere better than Devon and Cornwall's beautiful. But you can't really predict that. So I don't blame people going abroad where they can guarantee the weather,
Yeah, and we're talking about that as well. I'd love a winter break, but it is expensive to go somewhere warm.
It is, yeah. Everything's expensive now, isn't it?
I
will be reading.
Yay, so what are you going to read, Sharon?
There's actually 2 books. Both of these I bought from the authors at the book con. And what I do with indie authors, just as if any of you've got Kindle Unlimited, I tend to buy the books, but then I'll read it on Kindle Unlimited, so the author gets the pages. So I'm reading Camp Death by Jim Oddy, which is basically a camp slasher.
I love a camp slasher.
It's going to be really good. Yeah. I love it. And then I'm reading this, To Coventry. I've just read The Hummingbird by TC, and it was fantastic. It was one of the best horror books I've read this year. And this is a very short novella, but it's basically just a cross between Agatha Christie and Midsummer Murders.
Oh, cool.
But a bit more violent.
That sounds perfect. Like, you've just said everything I need to hear. Agatha Christie just needs more gore. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I should be reading both of them, but I'm reading them on my Kindle rather than because these are all signed books. So I'll just put these on my trophy shelf.
Yeah, I love that meme. The one like the serial killers collect their trophies and we just collect our books instead.
We do. I mean, nearly always I will buy the book if I want it, but I'll nearly always read it on Kindle if I can.
I finally got the Evernight, so I'll be adding to my lovely book collection.
I'm so disappointed with the October one.
Yeah, I know. I do like Dark Academia.
So do I. I love it, but I love it. I love Dark Academia. I absolutely love it, but it's a horror subscription. Dark Academia is not horror, so that's what's disappointing. And especially at October, the big spooky season, that they wouldn't pick a horror. It's just a little bit disappointing.
Yeah,
I'll definitely read it.
I know. Sorry, Kev's just thrown something at me, and I don't know what.
Is it food? Is he throwing you food?
Phone. I thought he tends to give me vitamins and stuff. So if you ever see Kev giving me small things, it's vitamins. He's not like drugging me or anything.
That's what he's telling you.
Yeah, I mean, he tells me they're vitamins. So yeah, so quite often he's just handing me small items. But he won't be fine. That was something. I can't remember what I was saying now. I just got distracted by the vitamins and the kind husband just feeding me stuff. Let's see what the people in the comments are doing, and then I'll see if I can get my train of thought.
Evernight we were talking about.
Oh yeah, Evernight, that's the one. Yes, I know now that book subscriptions, I think all publishers have to apply for them like a year in advance. So I think that possibly it just depends when the big books are coming out. But yeah, I would have thought that they would have gone.
It's just such a shame that they don't look at indie stuff.
Oh no,
I really do. I think it's such a shame. But I get it. But it's just that, it's like there's a lot of subscriptions that do fantasy, which is Dark Academia's fantasy basically, and so it's just a little bit disappointing at the big horror season.
Yeah.
They wouldn't choose a horror book. It would be even better if they'd done it the other way around and the Eyes Have It, which was the last book, which was great.
Yeah.
If they'd have done that in October and the Dark Academia earlier, it's just a little bit disappointing. But I've still got my Abominable Book Club box, and that's all horror.
I like the Look of the Nightworms one as well, but it's just the shipping to the UK, I think, is always tricky with the US ones. I had to look at it.
It does look good though, doesn't it?
It does, and I think that Mother Horror and Spookish Mommy, who run it, Ashley and Sadie, both really knowledgeable about horror. So the stuff that they choose is like really well curated. But
there's quite a few of my indie horror authors are going to the States next year to do conventions.
Oh, cool.
So I will ask them if there's anything I particularly want. I'll ask them to pick it up from the author for me.
Good idea.
So so that's what I'll do. It's just I'd rather pay them and not pay ridiculous shipping.
Yeah, I've got a friend who lives in the US, and she does occasionally order me stuff from Amazon.com if I ask her to, just because it kind of saves, and then I can, pay her rather than.
It's ridiculous. You pay $15 for a book, and it's 20 quid shipping.
Yeah, and I do. I occasionally ship to like influencers in the US, like just to kind of keep getting Mina out there, and it's just steadily got more and more expensive. So I'm not doing it as much now because I'd have to earn a lot from each.
Hi, Melina.
Hi, Stephen. Hi, Melina.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Stephen. Yeah, I never know.
Is that a threat, Stephen?
Stephen always comments in advance, and then I always say, "Are you here? Are you not?" So thank you, Stephen, for telling me.
Bless you.
Oh,
wow!
It's always really lovely when people are reading it during my.
It's so good. You're going to love it.
Thank you. Oh, wait to read. Honestly, Sharon, my book that comes out next year, I think is the most bonkers thing I've ever written. It's like, it's so outlandish. So I'm editing it. I was saying to Kev, like, have I gone too far this time?
You've got to go completely different though, because what's the point? You've got to do something completely different, haven't you?
You know what? What's that? The more things change, the more things stay the same. The French, like, I feel like it's totally the same, but it's also totally different somehow.
Is it still YA? Can you say or not? Yeah, it's still YA.
Still YA. Yeah. I don't think I'm allowed to say anything else. But
that's okay.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad. That's really nice, because you never know when you're writing a series whether you can kind of sustain the interest. That was my main worry. The more books I wrote, I really didn't want them to get worse. So I'm really
I know, but the thing is as well with the series, I don't read a lot of series, so I rarely read them because I haven't got patience to wait. But because I'm getting on, But the thing with it is, if you make characters that you really love, then people are always going to read it, right? So you created characters that are really, you just want them to succeed. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I loved it. I love the first one. Still my favorite, I think. I've got to say, just because I've got a special place in my heart, but it was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's a 5-star series. Absolutely.
Thank you. I really just don't know which is my favorite, because there's things I love about each of them. But
I just love the first one because it was just so immersive in New Orleans, and I love New Orleans. We both do, don't we? Yeah. And it was so immersive and so different. And I just remember reading and thinking, oh God, this was before we'd even met. So it was just like, I think this is just so good. It was the first YA I ever read.
Oh, really?
Because I avoided YA because I thought I'm an adult. I can't read young adult. Stupid, but there you go. One of the people I followed on TikTok said, you got to read this book. It's great fun. You'll love it. And I read it for Halloween one year.
Oh, it is Halloween. They are perfect for Halloween.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sharon. Hello. Yeah, I loved Heads Will Roll. I have to say, I haven't got
that yet. No.
Yeah, you'd love it, Sharon. Out of the two, I found Heads Will Roll more fun in terms of a slasher, and probably gripped me more in terms of the pacing. But this one is very good in terms of grounding you in a world. And then, as Sharon said, the kills are excellent. So it really depends what you want. If you want that kind of pacey, you won't be able to stop reading because the chapters are short, and it just, without spoiling it, the way it's written straight away, you start to figure out who are going to be the victims and who are going to, who are going to be okay. There's a little flip in the way the narrative's written.
I think I Was a Teenage Slasher is much more serial killer-y vibes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It feels like you're listening to a serial killer.
Yeah.
As opposed to other slashers which have a kind of a different element. It just feels more supernatural and dark. This feels very grounded in reality. That's the difference.
Yeah, and it's you're rooting for the other side.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. I was rooting for the lad in Teenage Slasher. I was like, oh come on, you can do it. You'll be all right. Do you know what I mean?
As you start to sort of, as he becomes more of a slasher, I feel like it does that really well. Like that, how much is he actually in control? Yes, it's really, really good. I'm actually interviewing Josh tomorrow, so I'll have an interview.
Are you? Oh, I love Josh. Yeah.
He's a delight. Isn't it nice when an author is absolutely brilliant at what they do and they're just a really nice person? So most authors are lovely, but Josh is like especially.
He's just such a sweet man. And A Shadow Glass is still one of my favourite fantasies.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So good.
As somebody who doesn't really read it, it's still excellent. Yeah, exactly.
I wish I could.
I audiobook during boring things, so I'm folding washing and I'm audiobooking, so I feel like I'm not being cheated. I'm still reading because I'm listening to that. Hello.
Hi, Han.
That sounds exciting.
Someone you
Someone
can build
you
a
can build
nest
a nest.
with.
I
A
mean,
cozy fantasy with body horror.
that title is just epic. You
That's
need
a
to tell
strange
us, Han.
place.
Is this something that Sharon would like? It's something I would like.
It's a
It,
dress, actually. It's a dress, Melina.
oh,
It's a
it's
dress.
lovely.
How
Oh,
you
Dawn's here.
doing?
Dawn.
Your book still hasn't come. I'm chasing it still. I might have to
Oh,
cancel it and order it from somewhere else in a minute.
oh, gutted.
I love Wuthering Heights.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's so long, Melina, since I've read it. I studied it at school and read it so much that I had to have, I think I had about 10 years off
Break.
read it.
Yeah.
So it's probably been 10 years since I've read it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very Dawn, that book. I think.
It's beautiful. And you can sing at the same time. So do you remember when I was at school? This is a funny story. When I was at school in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, everybody thought that the song by Kate Bush, Wuthering Heights, was in the book. So we all went to the library to get the book out to find the lyrics.
Oh.
I mean, really, people thought that. There was no Google in those days.
Well, yeah, this is
no
true.
Google. No phones, no computers. Other than basic ones. And so yeah, we all went. We was like, well, where are the lyrics? Why aren't the lyrics in this book?
Love how you accidentally read some Bronte looking for Kate Bush lyrics. That's excellent. Oh, thank you. Well, if it is any consolation, the next book coming from me has some similar vibes, so hopefully you'll still be happy. And I haven't shut the door on it.
Tease.
I know. I just know it's going to be announced. I was told October, but I think it might be midway through October probably. So I've been thinking about this book since probably 2015, like pre-Mina. So I'm so ready to talk about it. You're right, Sharon.
Yeah, just swallowed the wrong way. That's what happens when you get old.
It happens to me as well, to be fair. Yeah, it's. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, Blackwell's is the place to book ship.
Blackwell's is the best place, Ollie.
I've noticed that annoyingly, quite a lot of US books don't seem to be on there. Like, say, Josh Malerman's new one is unavailable, and you have to try and order it from the US.
It is coming. It's due. It's being published here. I'm pretty sure it's coming in October.
Oh, amazing! Because I
want that too.
Yeah, I've been trying to buy it, and it's just too expensive. I presume that's why they've yanked it off all the sites that will ship. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. I mean, I do. I love the slasher feel of the second one, but I think the first one probably is my favorite.
I know. I need to. I'm gonna have to cancel my order and reorder them at this because mine still hasn't come.
Yeah, that's really annoying, isn't it?
It's really annoying. So and I desperately want it for spooky season. So I'm just gonna have to. Very annoying.
Hopefully you'll get it quickly, whichever one you order. The Madness is excellent. If anybody's not heard of it, it's Dawn Kurtagic's feminist Dracula retelling. I'm sure I don't need to say more, but it's got Welsh legends in. It's got Dawn's beautiful gothic atmospheric writing. I don't know whether you still hear Dawn, but
gothic goddess that she is.
Yeah, I mean, gothic and gorgeous. That kind of says it, doesn't it? That is Dawn. I don't know whether you can hear my Nightmare Before Christmas clocks just singing "This Is Halloween" to us.
That is such a cool picture of you as well, by the way, Dawn.
Yeah, it's amazing. Dawn
it's terrifying, wonderful all at the same time.
Dawn's makeup and stuff. I've done some like Halloween virtual events with Dawn over the years, and I'm always for the past 4 years certainly I've not dared to put makeup on because if little boy wakes up I might actually traumatize him. And I don't have the time to do makeup stuff anyway. So they all, like Dawn and Kat, come on like looking amazing, and I'm there like, sorry, I've managed to put like a scary t-shirt on.
Yeah, I managed to brush my hair. Be great.
Yeah, no, I don't think we've even done that, Sharon, to be fair. It's in a ponytail, nobody can tell. Oh. I mean, the shape just usually resides as an amorphous blob but eats people to grow extra limbs.
What was the name of that again? What was the name?
Is it someone you can build a nest in?
Someone you can build a nest in.
I think so. It sounds so good. Even the blur's making me chuckle.
Yeah, said everyone out. Well, that's good though. We need Dawn. Everyone out. That's brilliant. Yeah, I'm going to try somewhere else, I think. So, yeah, I have to have it.
I've not heard of that, Dawn. That sounds cool though as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I am gonna. Yeah, gothic feminist vampire is so.
They're the best thought.
Yeah, it's got mixed media in it too, just to make it even better. I love mixed media. Yeah,
If
do you
you
know
want to read
what?
a really good Dracula one, Reluctant Immortals is
Oh,
brilliant.
yes, it is.
It's such a
Gwendolyn
good.
Christ.
It's the women of the vampire legends, but it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so beautifully written by Gwendolyn
Keist, I
Kist.
think. Yeah, I
Kist,
think.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I
Is it
interviewed her. I
Keist?
think she said Keist, but I probably got that wrong. Blackwell's came quickly, Sharon.
I'll get on there.
Yay! Are we doing an event together this year, Dawn? I want to see it, even if we're not. Please, I'm sure you'll post
Do a
it.
sprint.
Yay!
Do a sprint together on Halloween.
That would be cool.
Halloween's Thursday,
I'm
isn't
at
it?
Disney. I'm at Disney on actual Halloween, so
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I'm going to be dressed up as Sally. Well, you're not allowed to dress up, but I'm Disney bounding or whatever it's called as Sally, so hopefully I'm not too close. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place with these. Thank you for
Three-Body
joining
Problem
us,
is
Sally.
a great book. Has
We're
anybody
here.
seen the film? I wonder if it's any good.
No.
The film's on Netflix. I wonder if it's any good.
Oh, really? Seeing Jane, the book's coming tomorrow or Saturday.
Jane.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, Horror is brilliant. It's very good.
I'm going to add it to my list. Sold. I love Dawn book recommendations. Right, we've chatted for a bit. Let's go and do a sprint. I'm going to do
feed
some.
the cats.
Yes, go feed the cats. I'm going to eat some chocolate and do some freelance writing. So,
yeah, eat your balls, love.
Yes, I will. I'm just going to show them before people wonder what we're talking about.
The wrong way around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go.
Tony's Chocolonis, chocolate balls.
Yes, delicious. Right, I'm going to put the timer on. See you all in a bit.
Happy reading, loves.
Hello. Oh, sorry, phone alarm decided to go off at the exact moment. How did you get on? Oh, sorry, Sharon. I think you're still muted. Hang on. Oh no, sorry. We've just done it at the same time. I'll let you when you mute. So. How many times do I do that?
Hello. I'll do sign language. 48% through.
Excellent. How is it going?
It's good fun, yeah. So it's basically, I'm reading the In Coventry one, and it's basically this woman who's an ancient demon, and she's kind of just wandering around, kind of getting involved in stuff, and she finds out that these men have started dropping dead. Basically, their brains are exploding and everything's bleeding. In Coventry, so she goes there to investigate. So she's like a demonic Miss Marple, but she's feisty. It's like ancient magic, and it goes into the history of Coventry, which was originally called Coffer's Tree. That's where the word comes from.
Oh, really?
So it's so it's really, really good. Yeah, it's really good. Really enjoying it. I shall probably finish it in the next sprint. It's only like 140 pages, so it's a quick read.
I'm adding too many books to my list tonight. I think I'm going to have to add that one. It sounds
It's
really
on
good.
Kindle Unlimited if you got KU.
I haven't got it at the moment, but I do keep looking at it thinking right now I'm reading a lot of physical books, but I think given a couple of months, if I can just clear a bit of my physical TBR, I think I might get Kindle Unlimited back again, because I do love reading there.
When I bought my Kindle, I got 3 months free, like you do. And so I'm lying back here. I'm so lazy. It's so nice. And I've just carried on because I'll read Kindle more than anything. And because I'll read a lot of indie horrors, and most of those are on Kindle Unlimited. So even if I buy the books, I can read them on Kindle. So at the moment, it's worth the money for me. But you've got to read. Well, I think it's about 10 quid a month. So you need to read like a book and a half a month, because that covers a physical book, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, put it that way. There was a point where I was reading at least that a month on my Kindle, but at the moment I'm hardly using it. I'm quite often using it to read ARCs, as you do. I get sent them I get sent them electronically quite often these days as PDFs, and I can just send it directly to my Kindle and read it that way, because I can't read a book on a computer screen. I really struggle.
Most of the ARCs I get are e-ARCs, just because a lot of the authors I ARC or beta read for, they're not particularly in this country, and so it's like it's easier, isn't it? And you can also add notes and everything on the Kindle. Do you know what I mean? So beta reading, and when I proofread, it's so much easier. I can just highlight, and you know what I mean. So
that's what I've done with my latest book. For the first time, I've done some of the editing on Kindle, because I find that I get a bit where I can't see a book anymore when I've looked at it too much, and it kind of reinvigorates me seeing it in a different format. So it's been really good.
It's Englishifying it for a lot of them. So I get American authors who will say things that don't make any sense in England, and like Europeans who as well. So it's kind of, and I'll say, okay, this isn't known in England. This is what you would say. I get a lot of, like, when I'm doing that, it's just so much easier. And I've got my little clicker now. So I've got my little, here it is, look. Or I've got me, I've also got, what's it called?
Oh yeah, I can't think of that. Yeah,
it's like it's this floor. It's a floor one. It's a Kindle holder. So basically, I lie back, put my feet up, and then the Kindle's like here. It's the ultimate in laziness. It's wonderful.
I think I need to get one. I keep seeing them on TikTok and they look so appealing. I'm like, I need to do this.
This is brilliant.
Dawn is right. We are doing an interview in October, so I'm imagining Dawn's going to turn up for that dressed all beautifully.
Woo! You have to let me know when that is. I'll watch that.
Yeah, I'm definitely. We're recording it mid-October, I think, and I don't know when it'll go up. Kev, my consultant, will sort out the dates of that. But yeah, I'll definitely post about it when it's up. I don't tend to do them live because I find that people feel a bit more comfortable quite often recorded, and I think that the flow of conversation, I've tried it in the past, and people can interact obviously if you do it live, but I find it's nice. Sometimes I get people to like give me some questions if they want to ask people anything. I did that with CJ Tudor, and it worked well. I've got another author that hopefully I'm going to interview that's really exciting, but I'm not going to say it in case I jinx myself.
I'll do it live on Instagram or TikTok, but I don't really particularly interact with the chat.
Yes.
I'm just talking to the author. I ask for questions beforehand from
Yeah.
people. And but yeah, just because a lot of the authors, a lot of the indie authors, they're not on YouTube, so they don't use StreamYard.
Yes.
So you know, it's easier to use Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to do what works with your audience, haven't you? So I think Dawn has put it in the chat about the other one. Oh, 3 Body Problem adaptation. I've not even heard of
it. I've seen it on Netflix today when I was looking, Dawn. I thought, so I loved the book. I wonder if the actual, you know, the actual film is any good. Yeah, Reluctant Immortals by Gwendolyn Keist. Did you say her name was?
Yeah, I think that's how she pronounced it. Yeah.
It's such a good book. Whoa, 152.
Thank you. I love romance. My next one has, sorry, Sharon, my next one has a fair bit of romance in as well. But there's quite a lot of murder too, Sharon. So there's murder.
People always say to me, I always got romance. I don't mind if it is part of the story.
Oh, yeah,
what I don't like is if it's the whole story.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't read like a romance book or a romantasy, but I would read a fantasy with romance in it. That's fine as long as it's part of the story, but it's not the main story. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of other things that always are going on in my writing.
Mainly as long as a bit of blood and gore, I'm happy.
Blood and gore. I just keep making things really complicated for myself, and then the editing is just such a head scratcher. At some point, I'm going to write an easy to edit book, but I've not done it yet.
I have so many. I'm like, I get so many authors say to me, Sharon, I need to say this. How many different ways can you say like violence, bloody, gory? And I've got a whole list. I'm like a thesaurus. Well, you could try this.
I'll remember that next time because I do. There's only so many ways you can say blood spattering from a bitten neck or severed head. Sharon is reading an indie horror called In Coventry about a demon, Miss Marple, and I'm reading I Was a Teenage Slasher. I've also been writing, but I'm reading in the next one.
I'm actually reading it on my Kindle, but this is a signed copy, so yeah, it's very, very good.
Oh, do you know what? So many books hit my brain, Marlene. I can really empathise with that when you're enjoying it. That's a bit like how I feel reading Stephen Graham Jones. I have to really concentrate because sometimes I've read a whole paragraph about, say, one of these big pumps in Texas. I'm like, I don't understand what's just happened. And then I switch off and I miss some like nice gory horror.
And books, books are like wine. You have to be the right time. They have to mature. So sometimes they'll sit on your shelf for a long time and then they're just right.
Yeah,
and you're just in the right mood for it. Do you know what I mean?
This is why I do put books down, like the 3rd Stephen Graham Jones book in the trilogy. I put it down for a little bit and now I'm enjoying it. Now I've picked up the audiobook.
And some things, as a lot of my friends are like that, where they can't get through the book because it just feels too dense. But the audio of it just gives it a bit more life. So it feels more, a little bit lighter.
It drives you through, I think, doesn't it? If you know that you've got
it paces it. Yeah.
A 15-hour audiobook or something, you can just go, right, I'm going to listen to an hour today, and then that's the 15th of the book read. I will take that as a compliment, being compared to Darcy Coates. I really love
I love Darcy Coates. From Below is my favourite book from her.
I haven't read that one.
Which is the deep sea one, there's only 2 things I'm frightened of. Deep sea is one of them because I drowned when I was 8. Deep sea and being trapped in somewhere. I'm not claustrophobic, but being trapped. And both of those are in that book. It's brilliant. It's proper creepy.
My favourite so far is The Haunting of Ashburn House. I thought was very, very good.
Yeah, really good book.
A really good haunted house book.
I just read a short story collection from her. It's just recently come out. I think it's When Things Get Dark or something like that. It's called, and it's like 13 short stories, and they were cracking. There was one in there called Ghost Camera, which was one of the best short stories I've read this year.
That's awesome. I need
really
to read her short stories because I think has she written another short story anthology? I think I might have another one. I haven't got that one.
That's the new one. It's I think it's called When Things Get Dark, or is it called Ghost Camp? No, I don't know. Anyway, it's only recently come out, like August, September time, but it's very, very good. I think she does. I haven't read the other one though.
I'm really behind with her books. I've only read a couple of them. Oh, sorry, that's the kitty. I'm just going to stop it, otherwise it'll keep meowing at us.
It is 10 to 9 here, just after 10 to 9 at night.
Yes.
Where are you? 3:45. Is that mid
A
America?
gooseneck holder. Is that the Kindle holder? I like
a gooseneck holder. Yes. Well, this is kind of like, it's like a little bracket. It's brilliant. And I mean, literally, when I lie back, it's like there. So bad for me.
A TBR maturing like a fine wine. I'm going to remember that next time 5 books arrive and Kev goes, "Are you going to read the ones you've got?" I'll say, "I'm just maturing my TBR right now."
This is my bookseller. This is my bookseller. Do you know? And so some books have been there for a couple of years. I haven't got to yet. Yeah. They're just not ready yet.
Yeah.
They're just not ready.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's really good. Eastern America.
Oh, Eastern Standard Time.
I love the East Coast. I've only visited the coast of America. So we've done the Deep South, East Coast, West Coast as road trips. I don't know why I had to act it out like that, just in case you're wondering what the shape of the USA is. I really want to go back. It's been, how long is it since we've been to America? 10 years. Stop.
It's even longer for me. I lived in the States for about 4 to 5 years in the late 80s, early 90s. I lived all across because I was touring, and but it's probably been about 20 years for me since I've been.
I really need to do the middle states. I have been watching a lot of Cars recently because I have a 4-year-old boy, and
he's such a good film. He's such a good cartoon.
It's so good. It's really good, and Toy Story as well. Like, I just think they're excellent.
But Toy Story makes me cry. The last one I watched, is it 4 or 3 or 4 when he hands all the toys over in the end?
Yeah.
3, that made me sob.
The first film does not make me cry as much, but all of the others, I absolutely sobbed my eyes out. And Nathan just finds it really funny because he doesn't fully understand why it's sad. Like, he doesn't understand that I'm crying in book 3 because he's going to go to uni at some point and leave me. Like, he just doesn't. He doesn't see it. And the growing up, how it shows Andy growing up so fast. I'm like, oh God, don't do this to me because I'm in this situation. I don't want to blink and be 18. Deep breaths. But yeah, they're really good, but they do same as Bluey. That makes me cry regularly.
I love Bluey. I think that's really sweet. When my friends' kids come around, I don't watch kids stuff when I'm on my own. That was weird.
Some adults do,
but perhaps I used to when I was in uni. But, yeah. So when my friends' kids come around, I love it. Yeah.
It's just really gentle, and like the parents seem quite real. They are a bit unattainable as far as parents go. Like, they'll play games for hours, like beyond the game's natural close. The parents let it keep going.
Have you got Disney? Have you got Disney? Have you watched Agatha All Along?
No, not yet. Is it good?
It's so good. Oh, I've forgotten it was on today. So this morning I was doing some paperwork, some admin for my Bookstagram Awards, because they end on Monday, and I've got a live next Friday to present the awards. And I thought I fancy watching a Disney film. I'm going to watch Moana or Encanto, which is my 2 favourites at the moment. I'd forgotten it was on, and I was so excited. There's 2 episodes on, so yes, it's brilliant. It's really good.
To watch Only Murders in the Building, the new seasons.
That looks fun. I've never watched that. Is it good?
I think you'd like it. I think it gets better because Kevin and I started watching season 1 and he dropped off, and I was like, oh, I'm going to keep going a bit, and then I got hooked. And then by the most I don't know what season we're up to, but the most recent one had Paul Rudd in it and Meryl Streep. I mean, those 2 actors.
Stars are incredible, aren't they?
Meryl Streep and Paul Rudd were both absolutely awesome in it. And I was trying to convince Kev, but obviously he's so far behind me now, I'd have to wait for him for months to catch up. So I'm really excited. If it keeps getting better, like I feel it has. Not many series do that, I think. Quite often I love the beginning of a series and then I drop off.
They do it to death sometimes, I think. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Marvel or DC. My husband was a massive fan of that. So the only one I really loved was WandaVision. I loved that, mainly because it was witchy, I think, probably. And so this is even more witchy. So yeah, it's very, very good. Very good. I mean, and of course I love, what's her name? Audrey Plaza.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely love her.
She's hilarious. I'm assuming you've watched Parks and Recreation that she's in.
No, I don't watch a lot of television, darling.
Oh, Sharon, I think you'd like Parks and Recreation. It's the Parks and Rec department of a local government, and it's got, what's her real name? Leslie Knope, Amy Poehler, I think, one of the Amy's. And it's just so funny because It's a bit like The Office, where they talk to camera and then you see the ridiculous situations they're in. But she's this really lovely, optimistic person who wants the Parks and Rec department to be amazing. And then her boss is this grumpy guy, Ron, who is he called Ron? Anyway, he's this really grumpy mustachioed guy who carries a gun, and and it's just like the banter. Rob Lowe is in it as an amazing character. He's just really, really funny.
I had such a crush on Rob Lowe in the 80s.
You need to, I think you'd like it, Sharon. The humour is really good. It's just really warm. And, certain things just like are warm and heartfelt. It just makes you feel good. And there's some great little jokes in it. Like, you've probably heard of people saying, treat yourself. That's from Parks and Rec. Like, I always remind myself to treat yourself.
I tend to avoid series. I tend to like, unless it's a compact series, like eight episodes, long things. I lose interest. It's like with books. I can't do long series of books.
They're short episodes. Interest. Quite a few seasons, but short episodes. I mean, give it a try, see what you think.
But it's my attention span.
It's one of my favourite comedies. I think the whole cast are excellent. And Aubrey Plaza. In fact, Chris Pratt, I always get my Chris's mixed up. It's Chris Pratt. And Aubrey Plaza have got great banter in it together, and he's really funny. She's really funny. Like, it's great.
I just love her. I just think she's such a brilliant actress.
Her deadpan humour that she does really well. In that, it's just like she can just give a look and absolutely floor like everybody. She's great.
She's just such a good actress. She's fantastic in Agatha All Along.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, I'm going to have some time off at the weekend. I've decided this weekend we're just not working in the evenings because I've been working too hard. So maybe that's the thing we need to watch. Agatha All Along.
There's only 2 episodes, and then they release an episode every week after that.
Okay.
So there's only 2 episodes to start it off. And I was going to wait till it was all released and just binge, but I just thought, no, I'm going to watch it. It's just so fun.
Before we do another sprint, I'm assuming you've watched Practical Magic.
I love Practical Magic, yes.
I thought it was a really cozy rom-com that was going to be really happy. We watched it for the first time. Started 2 nights ago, finished it last night, and I thought it was brilliant, but it was completely not how it's pitched. Like, on social media, people use that. There's a few things I know, fall in love and put lavender under your pillow and drink midnight margaritas and stuff. And I was like, this is going to be a really happy film. And when you read the promo, it's described as a rom-com. It has moments of rom and moments of com, but it has more moments of like murder and angst.
It's proper dark. I think it's a really dark comedy rom-com in a way. So there's certainly romance and the angst about the fact that, everybody who falls in love with them is a problem. But no, it's dark.
Honestly, because I think I'm not going to spoil it, but one of the characters is really happy, and then something happens, and I was like, I thought the really happy was going to be the film, and then the really happy's gone within 5 minutes.
It's such a good film. It is,
but I do think it needs a warning on it that it will emotionally scar you, and make you question everything. All the way
I love films like that, though, where you go in thinking it's one thing and then it's something else.
Well, Kevin and I just kept pausing it and looking at each other like, did you expect this? She's just done that thing that she's done.
You find it in a lot of kind of, this is a cozy film to watch at Halloween. No, it's not.
No.
I mean, I watch Psycho and In the Mouth of Madness. I mean, that's my level of comfort.
Well, I watch Scream as comfort, but I know what it is going into it. I think
you don't know.
Cozy book recommendations if you love Practical Magic, and I'm like, no, it's not cozy. That is my new hill that I'm going to die on. Every time I see somebody talking about Practical Magic being a lovely cozy thing, I wonder if it's the memes and things are cozy, aren't they? And the music is cozy, but there's very little else.
I think there's a really dark humor in it that's easily memeable, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's a lot of sayings in it people can meme because there's a really dark humor to it. But no, it's dark.
Yeah,
it's dark.
So I was very surprised. If you'd seen my face, it was quite a picture when I was like, oh, this is nice. And then it all goes wrong for Sandra Bullock. And I was like,
I think that's the only film I like Nicole Kidman in.
Do you know what? I do like Nicole Kidman. Recently, I have to say, I find stuff hard to watch for actresses like her when she's had so much work done that her face doesn't move. And I find that really sad.
I don't find it. I think she played a blinder with that. And that because it was quite early in her career. And then afterwards, she got a bit too serious about herself, and then she lost that kind of immediacy that she had in that film, which is a shame, isn't it?
They're both really good. I think Sandra Bullock and her, like, to say that they're improbable sisters, aren't they? If you looked at them, but they work really
horrible
well.
people supposedly in real life.
Are they?
Yeah, it's supposed to be awful. Yeah.
Oh, Sandra Bullock seems so lovely in films. Like
They're
she's
both
obviously.
on lists of celebrities you should avoid
Oh,
in Hollywood.
oh. On that note, I think I should go and read a book about a person I should avoid. Sasha.
I know. I need a cup of tea now.
Right, cup of tea. Let's do another
Cup
sprint.
of cha.
We'll do another 40 minutes, and then I'll see how we feel after this one. I might be too tired to
So
do
you're
another
feeling,
one.
darling. Bless you.
I'm managing. The cold's not too bad now. I'm just exhausted. You know, when you've been ill and you're kind of coming out of it, and you just feel wiped out.
And you don't sleep well. You see, when you can't breathe very well and you're coughing all the time, you don't have proper sleep, so you're going to be tired.
It's the sore throat, and I think teaching like 1 day a week isn't a lot. But last week I was just getting ill, and then I taught for a day, and it just pushed me over the edge into ill. And then today I'm just recovering, and then taught, and it's kind of undone the recovery a bit, I think. But
teaching a room full of kids would push me over the edge generally, darling, to be fair.
do you know what? I love it. I really do, but it is hard work. Anybody who teaches full time has my
I wouldn't do it. No.
It's a hard job, but
the book's actually quite good, Marlene, actually. The book's decent.
I'm glad we've encouraged you, because honestly, don't let me discourage you from watching it. I thought it was excellent, but please watch it with your eyes open, because I was taken off guard. I was ready for kisses and cuddles and like moony eyes. I wasn't ready for death and destruction and chaos and all the other things that happen in it. So yeah,
which is my world, to be fair.
Yeah, but if I'd known I was watching a horror thriller comedy, I would have felt prepared. I was ready for you know that music.
I never understood why it was in a cozy list. I wouldn't have put it in a cozy list.
I think
it's not cozy.
It's snippets of it are cozy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like the house and the town and the music and nothing else.
Perhaps people are remembering those bits. Perhaps people, when they look back on it, they're remembering the cozy bits and not the horror.
And that's
the way it is.
Actually quite scary and disturbing horror moments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a sprint and catch up in 40 minutes.
Happy reading.
Hello. Shall I unmute? I don't want to unmute you and then.
I've unmuted myself.
Otherwise, we'll play the
Hello.
game, don't we? I ended up reading for a bit, watching a bit of telly. It was lovely. I had a little relax. I've read
I'm
a
very
bit more of the book.
relaxed.
It's really good. It's just because it's dense and I'm tired. I was like, I'm just gonna watch. Kev was watching some like he watches quite a lot of like news programs on YouTube to catch up on stuff. So just caught up on a bit of news. Yeah, we don't have like normal TV channels now, so we just kind of piece our news and stuff together from what we can get.
I was watching YouTube earlier because I'm doing the the Halloween-a-thon with Kelsey from
Yes,
Slime and Smasher. So I'm doing that. So I was watching a preview video. So yeah, I'm looking. I've started mine. I started mine on the 1st of September. So yeah, it's good fun.
I've not read any books yet. And I mean, I'm reading, but I've not finished a book yet in September. I reckon I've probably read about 3 books by the end of the month, but it's just the way things are at the minute. I'm just coming to terms with the fact
Sometimes
that
you have runs. This is my 17th book of the month, but last month I only read 15 all month. So it's just, some days, sometimes you have good runs and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have small novellas. 3 of
yeah,
those are small novellas, are only 150
exactly.
pages. Yeah, so it's just this way it goes, right?
I feel happy
One of
when
the
I'm
books,
reading a lot. When I'm reading a lot, it keeps me on an even keel. I think, like, I know that I'm stressed and I'm doing too much when I'm not reading, and reading actually makes me more relaxed. So it just becomes a bit of a
and you
cycle.
actually, I mean, I'm a lot older than you, so all I do is work and sleep and read. That's my main hobby because I can't do a lot else. You're running around after little man, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's
So,
my
yeah, you
whole
know what I
life.
mean. You're
I know,
looking.
and I love it. I wouldn't change it. If you ask me what I'd prefer to do, I love. I'm not complaining about anything at all. I'd like an extra maybe 5 hours a day. If the day could be 29 hours and I could read for that 5,
Oh,
that'd be
no, they
nice.
just make me work. Well, I don't want to do
Oh
that.
yeah, this is true.
But when Carl's boys, my stepsons were little, I didn't read so much. We had them
Yeah,
regularly, and life. You know, when he's older and he's at college and university, you have loads of time, mate.
I know. Stopped. I don't want the time. So yeah, that's the thing,
Oh,
you can't win, can you? So did you finish your book?
yes, I'm on the second one now.
Was it good, the first one?
Yes, yeah, okay, it was really, really good. Yeah, this is it's like the Hummingbird was the first book, and one of the characters, two of the characters from the end of that of in this book. So, I mean, you can read them as separate. You don't need to read them, but it's funny because So, but yeah, Lady Godiva's come into it now. I mean, it wouldn't be Coventry without, would it?
I don't know much about Coventry, to be honest. I'm gonna have to read them, I think, to try and like figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, Lady Godiva's the one who's striking down the men who deserve it. It's great.
Oh, of course she is. Sounds like my kind of girl.
Yes, because she's patron saint of revenge, isn't she?
All right.
So
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard the name, but I don't know much about it. They do good
yeah,
chocolate, Godiva as well.
they do. They do. They make great bras too.
I've tried a Godiva bra, but I've tried chocolate.
But yeah, it
That's
was
my
very, very
fault.
good. And the third part is coming out soon. So I think TC is sending me the arc for that. So I'm looking forward to that. But it was
Excellent.
just really fun. It was fun. It was It was gory, but it was just really fun. Lots of little Poirot and Miss Marple references, and it was just really good fun.
Are they in order? Like, do you have to read the first one first?
No, I mean you could read this one. No, it refers back to, but it doesn't directly follow on, if you know what I
Okay.
mean. Because that book, The Hummingbird, is a proper a full novel, which is fantastic. But and this is two of the characters after that, but they've moved on from that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could read them as separate, but the fact that
Excellent.
they connected makes it fun.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'd probably have to read them in order if I was going to do it. Well, Kirsty's jumping in. There's 4 books in the Practical Magical series, different
Is there
from the film
really?
stuff.
I didn't. I don't know if I've read them all four then.
I'm gonna have to, I think, wait a little bit, because you know when you've watched a film and then you read the book and it's a bit jarring. I think I'm gonna have to wait and forget a little bit, because I thought I'd watch Practical Magic because I've seen that many memes. I was quite confused when I started watching it. I was like, this is not familiar at all.
You do that though. Sometimes you think you've seen so many memes for things that you actually think you've watched it.
Yeah,
Or you've seen so many clips of things that you think you've watched it. Right?
I used to read Total Film as well, and I think I subscribed to it, and for years and years I read every Total Film. So I think quite often I've watched a film as well when I've actually probably just read a detailed review of it.
I do that all the time where I've read a review of something. I think I've read it and I haven't.
Yeah. Or vice versa. You start reading something, think, hang on, I've read this before.
Night, Marlene.
I get that. I think we're going to have to call it quits after this, Sharon. I'm afraid I am.
Are you fading, my darling?
I'm with Marlene on the falling asleep front. I can feel my eyes going, and if I talk much longer, I'm going to actually nod.
That's all right. That's no problem. It's nearly 10 o'clock, darling.
Well, it is, and it's been lovely to catch up with you and have some new people in the comments and my usual lovely people that come on to chat. I do appreciate it. So yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully I'm going to do a bit of reading next week as well. I'm trying to make my evenings less about work and more about reading and relaxing. So I'll try.
You'll have a bit of space to do that, darling.
Yeah, I'm getting that. I feel like I'm still in catch-up mode. Like I've had 2 weeks of very busy, like a publishing deadline kind of hit me that I wasn't expecting. I sort of was expecting it, but I didn't know when.
Yeah.
And it was a really quick turnaround. So that was the first week of September taken care of. And then this week has just been kind of catching up. So hopefully next week I'll get in the swing a little bit. But
okay.
But yeah, thank you,
Sarah. I will carry on reading.
Yes, well, enjoy your book, and thank you for coming on as always. Thank you, everybody in the comments, and I'll see you all next week, hopefully.
Take care, everyone. Bye. Bye.